Honestly, I don't know where the president's getting his information from. The Canadian aircraft have been certified in the U.S. By the FAA. They hold a current type certificate and they are certified. The only way that the type certificate can be revoked is if there is a safety issue with the aircraft. There's an ongoing accident investigation. So I don't know where his information is coming from. He cannot just arbitrarily just pull a type certificate.
U.S. President Donald Trump declared on Truth Social Thursday that the United States will decertify Bombardier Global Express aircraft and all planes made in Canada, unless Transport Canada immediately approves certification for Gulfstream business jets. Trump threatened a 50% tariff on Canadian aircraft sold into the United States if the situation is not corrected. The announcement sent shockwaves through the North American aerospace sector. Trump posted that Canada has wrongfully and illegally and steadfastly refused to certify the Gulfstream 500 and 600 and 700 and 800 jets. He called them one of the greatest and most technologically advanced airplanes ever made. Trump stated, "The U.S. is hereby decertifying Bombardier Global Expresses and all aircraft made in Canada until Gulfstream is fully certified, as it should have been many years ago."
Well, I really don't know where the president's coming from. To tell you the truth, I did some research earlier. There are actually several Gulfstream aircraft flying in Canada. For the Gulfstream 650ER, there's 5 aircraft flying in Canada that are certified in Canada by Transport Canada. Gulfstream 500s, there is another 11 aircraft that are already certified in Canada and operating normally. We have Gulfstream 200s, we have Gulfstream 280s. So I don't know where this is going and where it's coming from.
Trump further alleged that Canada is effectively prohibiting the sale of Gulfstream products in Canada through this certification process. If this situation is not immediately corrected, Trump stated he will charge Canada a 50% tariff on any and all aircraft sold into the United States. The threat targets thousands of Canadian-built aircraft currently operating in the United States. According to aviation analytics firm Cirium, there are approximately 5,425 Canadian-built jets and helicopters registered in the U.S. This includes aircraft built by Bombardier and Airbus and Bell Textron. Cirium counts 2,678 Bombardier planes registered in America by more than 1,200 operators. There are 150 Bombardier Global Express aircraft in service registered in the U.S., operated by 115 operators. Several U.S. airlines also operate Bombardier CRJ regional jets. Delta Airlines flies 46 Airbus A220s manufactured in Canada. JetBlue flies 10 A220s. The single-aisle A220 is relied on by major carriers. In the ultra-long-range business jet market, Bombardier and Gulfstream are head-to-head rivals. The Global Series battles for market share against Gulfstream's latest models. Bombardier churned out 8 more luxury planes than the 138 produced by Gulfstream in 2024. Gulfstream recorded $8.3 billion in billings versus $6.3 billion by Bombardier, according to a 2025 report by the General Aviation Manufacturers Association. It is unclear what Trump means by decertifying the planes. The Federal Aviation Administration, run by a Trump appointee, is responsible for certifying aircraft to operate in U.S. airspace. Aviation expert John Graddick stated the president has authority to ground aircraft in some extreme cases, as Trump did with the Boeing 737 MAX 8 during his first term. The jet was banned for 20 months due to safety issues. However, Graddick stated, "You cannot just say because Canada did not do what we want them to do, I am going to decertify the airplane." It is unclear how Trump would decertify the planes, since that is the job of the Federal Aviation Administration. It is also not clear if the FAA could revoke certifications for planes based on economic reasons, or what that would mean for American owners of the planes. Aircraft certification typically plays out over years in a process handled by regulators, with authorities often working in cross-border cooperation to review applications. Aircraft certification, especially between Canada and US, has always been very close with Canadian authorities, and the FAA in unison, Graddick stated, Transport Canada is responsible for Canadian certification. A number of Gulfstream's jets, including the G450 and G350 and GV and G550 and G500, have been certified by Transport Canada to some degree. However, Canada does not appear to have certified Gulfstream's G500 and G600 and G700 or G800 business jets to the extent that the US and Europe have. These jets hold between 13 and 19 passengers. In April 2025, the Federal Aviation Administration and the European Union Aviation Safety Agency certified the Gulfstream G800 jet. Transport Canada did not respond immediately to requests for comment. It is unclear why Trump is targeting Global Express aircraft, which were first delivered to customers in the late 1990s. That type evolved into the company's popular Global series, which includes the Global 8000. Bombardier received type certification for its Global 8000 business jet from Transport Canada in November 2025, with FAA approval coming about a month later. EASA certificated the 19-passenger jet on January 23, 2026. Bombardier responded Thursday that it had taken note of Trump's social media post and is in contact with the federal government. In a statement posted to its website, Bombardier stated it is an international company that employs more than 3,000 people in the US across 9 major facilities. The company said it creates thousands of US jobs through 2,800 suppliers. Bombardier stated it is actively investing in expanding US operations, including a recent announcement in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Thousands of private and civilian jets built in Canada fly in the US every day. We hope this is quickly resolved to avoid a significant impact to air traffic and the flying public, the statement said. Whether Trump's threats are actionable is unclear. If Trump cuts off the US market, it would be a major blow to the Quebec company. Smaller operators in the US that fly the Bombardier regional jet for mainline airlines would also be hit by a temporary grounding. The US military is also a significant operator of modified Global Series business jets. The US Air Force has long flown Global Express-based E-11A aircraft in the battlefield airborne communications node role. The Air Force is in the process of refreshing that capability using new Global 6000s. Trump previously targeted Bombardier during his first administration. The U.S. Commerce Department put duties on Bombardier's C-Series commercial passenger jet in 2017, charging that the Canadian company was selling planes in America below cost. The U.S. said Bombardier used unfair government subsidies to sell jets at artificially low prices. The allegations were initially raised by Boeing. Airbus later took a majority stake in the C-Series program. The U.S. International Trade Commission later ruled that Bombardier did not injure U.S. industry. Trump's threat over planes came after the president said over the weekend he would impose a 100% tariff on goods imported from Canada if it went forward with a planned trade deal with China. The dispute comes amid broader tensions between Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, who has criticized U.S. trade practices and pushed Canada to diversify trade partners. The standoff underscores how technical regulatory processes can become leverage points in modern geopolitical conflicts. Industry analysts and legal experts point out that aircraft certification is typically managed by technical safety agencies based on safety data, not diplomacy or politics. Airlines and unions and aerospace experts warn that weaponizing certification could undermine global aviation safety norms. The dispute touches on larger concerns about North American supply chains. Thousands of Canadian-built aircraft contribute to connectivity and employment on both sides of the border. The conflict has real-world consequences for international aviation and jobs and bilateral relations between the United States and Canada.